Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Today is August 25th, 2021. Here is Harbor Community Meeting. We have a few agenda for today's meeting. The first one is Ziming will share some information about the Harbor Operator 1.2 media planning. So Ziming, pass to you.
Okay, I'll share the screen. Okay. So recently, our hub operator has just released version 1.1.0, which is the third major release after 1.1, 1.00 and 0.6. In this release, we have some enhancements, such as support Harbor 2.3 and support Kubernetes 1.21 and supporting the Kubernetes networking API version 1, and we also improve some CRD definition, and we introduce a new state 2 operation, which user can use CRD-based configuration to define the configure, and we also support the counter ingress and the load balance service, and we enhance the underlying operator version of Postgres Redis and MinIO, and last we support multi version of that user can install several Harbor versions with this operator. And now we have moving on the 1.2 release. In this release, we plan to support Harbor version 2.4, which will target release on October this year, and we will support Kubernetes 1.22, which is just released recently, and we will supply more data operations such as cross cache, image path regress, and so on. Next, we will extend more storage drivers support supporting, includes Azure, Aliyun, and Google Cloud. We will also try to fix an issue, which when user updating Harbor cluster back to delete some components such as tree, delete tree, currently it will fail, and we will fix this in 1.2, and we will merge the registry and the registry control components into one pod that can fix the PV issue, that they can use one PV, and we will make the Harbor portal component optional. That can make that can save some memory in order to make it better in edge environment, and we will target FC date in early November. And next, we also have some backlog plans, such as we intend to add the data backup and restore in our operator. And we want to use CRD-based results to manage Harbor, which is a more Kubernetes based. And we will add more data operations, such as manage the Harbor CA search. And we will support scale sub-resource Harbor components. And we want to support more other providers, like other database operators. Not only current we are using Postgres operator, maybe also support other operators to install the dependency. And we want to run Harbor operator, and we want to merge all dependency operator into one controller. Currently, we have such as MinIO operator, Redis operator, and also Harbor operator. We want to merge them into one in future. And we also we are also investigating if we can support node pause service, node pause exporting to expose the Harbor service in order that some developer may want to use this to do developing. And maybe we also want to investigate issue. I mean, issue to do the ingress, to do the thing what ingress doing in future. Okay, that's all for current Harbor operator.
I have a few questions. Are we okay to ask them now?
Okay.
Could you go back to the v1.1, please? Yeah, you mentioned that you're gonna update the configuration via a CR. So do you do that by calling Harbor's API?
This one?
Yeah, the data operation, the CRD configuration.
Yes, we will call the Harbor API.
But what user do you use to call the API?
What user?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't notice that. I think you can configure a user when you set up the CRD configuration. Maybe the admin. Yeah, maybe you can.
We create using administration to call the API. Yeah.
But I mean the password of admin may be changed.
Yes, this is a problem.
Okay.
It may change. So the user after the user changes admin password, he should update the admin secret resource in the Kubernetes cluster.
I see. And could you go back to the backlog page for me? Yeah. As for the support other XXX providers and running full harbor operator in a single process, do you have issues open?
No, we don't have issue. This is Steven's idea.
Yeah, I'm curious how does he plan to do that, because those are open source. So you're gonna recompile the code and download them together?
Because we don't want to use the many operators. We just want them to see one operator.
But I mean, for example, the Minio operator, that's an open source project. How do you compile all those codes? Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think Minio is has some license problem. Maybe it can't merge into this. But Redis and Postgres, Steven said he had tested that it can be bundled into one controller.
But how did he do that? Do you know? I mean, does he merge all the code together and do the compilation or recompile the code?
Yeah, I think he's copy the code and change the controller code. And
I'm afraid that's
into one controller. Yeah.
But I'm afraid that's problematic because there may be dependency issue. For example, they depend on different version of one library. Then it will be very fragile. I mean.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other question? If no, Xiaolin, I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. It's great that we have released the 1.1 last week. So hope the community can try this new version operator. Okay, let's move to the next agenda. Yeah, Shen Wenyu will share the proposal to stop scanning job. This is a request from community. Shen Wenyu, I'll pass it to you.
Okay, thank you, Jiaolin. And I'll share my screen first. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Shen Wen, a new hire from VMware, and I propose the future of stop scan job image. This includes stop scan all job and stopping scan job of a particular artifact. As we all know, Ethernet's ability to scan images to identify potential vulnerabilities to avoid a malicious attack. And currently, Harbor supports Trivy and Claire as two scanning tools to achieve this purpose, which can be configured during Harbor installation. And generally speaking, there are two kinds of scanning. One is scan all images, and the other one is scan a particular image. According to community issues, either scan all images or scan a particular artifact can be resource consuming or stuck for days in some scenarios. So it's worthwhile to have stop scan job in Harbor to terminate scan all image job or terminate scan job of a particular image. So this is the community issues being raised, talking about the potential resource consuming or stuck for days. And our goal for this proposal is really simple and straightforward, which are first, be able to terminate a scan all job at the system level for all artifacts. And second, be able to cancel a scan job of a particular artifact. And as for breaking changes and the compatibility, there should be no breaking changes to existing functionalities and no compatibility issues. And next, let's move to implementation. Speaking of design and implementation of stop scan feature, there are three major steps. And first, define Swaggle API for both stop scan all and stop scan a particular artifact respectively. And the second, implement the API handler. And third, do should stop check in the actual run method within the scan job file. The scan job file implemented job service interface. And this is, and let's talk about stop scan all job first. And this is the API specified in for stop scan all. And essentially, we will have HTTP post method for this system/scan all stop URL path. And the handler for this API is implemented here. And essentially, like scan all API instance will get the latest scan all execution. And here, we have a new concept called execution. In Harbor, either it is a list of tasks like scan all, right? It is a list of tasks, or a single task like scan job for particular artifact. In both cases, they are managed by execution. So we need to find the execution first. Once we have the execution manager will invoke stop method, passing execution ID as the parameter to take care of it. Essentially, it will find a list of tasks managed by the execution ID, iterate them one by one, and stop every single task. So this is the implementation of handler for stop scan all job. And the next, let me talk about stop scan job of a particular artifact. The new API for stop scan job of a particular artifact is defined here. So essentially, we will have a delete HTTP request a method for this URL path. So then let's talk about the handler of this stop scan job of a particular artifact. So as we can see in the API definition, we will have some parameter called project name, repository name, and references. And essentially, we will first get a current artifact by reference of this parameter passed in. And the next story is a little bit different because scan API is the behavior of scan API is defined by scan controller interface. And we don't have a stop method in the scan controller interface yet. We will need to introduce a new method called stop in the scan controller interface, which is here. And the stop method will be implemented in the scan controller will be implemented like the below, like the following. First, it will get the execution of the artifact by the artifact ID. And then like before, the execution manager will invoke stop method and passing execution ID as the parameter to take care of it. And so far, we have talked about the API design and the handler of the API for both stop scan all and stop scan job of a particular artifact. The last piece is that we need to do should stop check in the actual run method within the scan job file. And because if there's a running scan job, right, it should be able to perceive the request, the stop request being received by Harbor system, right? So it can it can stop its currently running job. So to do that, we will do a should stop check in the run method within the scan job file, which is the stop actually happened. Like should stop is essentially an anonymous function to be added in the run method, and the should stop check will be invoked in the following scenarios. At first, it will be invoked when a scanner client being created. Second, before the client actually submitting a scan request, and third, and before, every time the scanner when the scanner trying to fetch the scan report, it will check, should I stop? If I should stop, then it will be stopped. And the fourth is that before persisting scan report data to database, before persisting any scan report to database, it will check the should I stop? If there's a stop request being received, then it will stop the persisting process. And that's essentially my proposal for stop scan job. And thank you.
A quick question regarding the HTTP API. Why are you using delete to trigger an act? Normally, wouldn't that be opposed?
Because in the case of stop scan job of a particular artifact, essentially we have a resource on the internet, right? It is for the artifact of a particular repository of a particular project, right? And to that resource, we can define a delete HTTP method to operate to achieve the stop scan purpose. The reason why I use delete method is because it is essentially an operation against a resource on the internet identified by the project repository and reference, right? It is not a post to a new resource. It's an operation against an existing resource on the internet. That's the reason why I use delete method to do that.
Do you discuss it?
Yeah, I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm asking Wei, because
okay,
I know he's a mastermind.
Because we use the post method to start a scan job of our artifact. So to stop it, we use the delete method of the same path to stop the scan. job.
But that is there may be a few issues. For example, the delete action normally is idempotent, which means you delete a resource multiple times, you receive the same result. But if you use it to stop a job, it cannot be idempotent. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think stop the scan job more times. The rest will be failed because the job is stopped. So the rest for delete API will fail.
I see. I think we can discuss offline, but I have some different thoughts about this. This is the API to be called by the user, right?
Yes, this is the API defined here, and this is the HTTP method. Yeah.
I maybe we can discuss tomorrow, but I don't think it's right.
Yeah, we can discuss it offline if you will.
Yeah. I have a question. Will these two new API exposed to the robot account? I mean, do the robot account can use this two new API? I know we have the the administrator can assign the permission for a particularly robot account. So we're just a new API enabled for the robot account.
For robot account, I think maybe we need add a new policy for the robot account. For example, there is a scan artifact policy to stop the scan job where maybe need a stop scan artifact resource for the policy of robot account. And the scan and the for scan all, I think we also need to a new resource for the robot access policy.
Okay, so we need to do some change on the UI and allow the administrator to assign the permission. Is that correct?
Yeah. If we want to expose those two actions for the robot account, we need to change the UI.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
And any other questions? Okay. Okay, that's my proposal. Thank you all, guys.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Simon.
All right.
Okay, let's move to the next agenda. Yeah, we have Alex have an exciting agenda want to be shared with the community. Alex, can you talk about your Alex?
Hey, yeah. So we're really happy that TNN has accepted our invitation to be a maintainer. So we are growing, and the project, I feel like, has since graduation, I think we've really gotten to a point where the community has become sort of self-serving. I see a lot more people stepping in to answer questions and to help others troubleshoot. But there's only so much we can do in one of our releases, right? We have 4 releases a year, and there's still a lot of items to be done. And so we've extended an invitation to TNN Gravi to be a maintainer for the Harbor project Tiannan has been with the project for a really long time. He's been attending the office hours and the community meetings, the US community meetings back when we had them, and now he's attending the Asia-based ones. So we're really grateful for everything Tiannan has done, and super excited that we have someone with that level of expertise joining the harbor maintainers. I don't know if you want to say a few words, Tiannan.
Just that I'm flattered you wanted me to be on, and I'm glad to be here. Harbor's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely want you to be here. So thanks so much. That was really my announcement. I'm gonna submit a PR to nominate Tiannan, and we'll go through the process to get someone officially added to the project as a maintainer. So I don't think we're gonna designate. I think we created a special role, right? Like a repository based maintainer, where that just means that that maintainer works on that repo within the Harbor project. Tiannan will be a full maintainer of Harbor, just like everyone else.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's my little announcement. Yeah, could not have asked for a better maintainer. So thank you.
Cool. So you're in the States, Tiannan?
What was your question, Daniel?
I mean, is he living in the States, or which country is he?
He's in the US. He's closer to the West Coast. So he's
I'm in Las
That's
Vegas.
really
Las Vegas. Yep.
cool. So that's really early for you.
Yeah, this is really early for him.
Yeah, welcome. And I also noticed that Tiannan attend Harbor community meeting together with us every time, almost every time. I remember. Yeah, that's really impressive.
Yep, it's a little early, but I do my best.
Okay, cool. So anyone have anything else want to discuss? Okay, great. So I think we have done for today's meeting. And thanks all for your joining. And see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. See you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.